Warning. The Dragon Between podcast may contain language and adult humor that is unsuitable for those 13 years and younger. Viewer discretion is advised. You're listening to the Dragon Between podcast, a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign set in the Eberron pulp fantasy setting created by Keith Baker. New episodes are recorded every Sunday and released on the following week. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for clips and future episodes. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for updates and news on the podcast. And now on with the show! When we last met, the Kaiju Squad continued to delve into the tunnels underneath the bathhouse, trudging through the sometimes flooded and sometimes dry earth tunnels, encountering more resistance, presumably from members of the Bleak. The group pressed on and eventually made their way deeper into this tunnel facility, discovering more flooded caverns and finding what sounded like the sounds of battle off in the distance. As the Kaiju Squad pressed forward towards the sounds, they were suddenly set upon by two ropers, which revealed themselves unfurling and lashing out with their long tendrils, grabbing members of the group and attempting to feast on them. The battle was fierce, with many of the group finding themselves at death's door, including the group's cleric, Horn, who was knocked unconscious. The final death blow was slung, and the ropers were defeated, and the group began to nestle themselves into a little alcove just southeast of the flooded chamber where they battled the ropers. The group find themselves gathering themselves together, looking around this dusty antechamber and seeing piles of boxes and what look like chests haphazardly covered with tarpaulin. The group have but a moment to react to what just happened before suddenly hearing the sound of grunting and weapon impacts echoing closer now, much closer. And Alistair, what is Alistair doing?
I said Alistair was going to rush to Horn and touch him and use healing.
Okay. Go right ahead. What are the rest of you doing? You're hearing this. The sounds of battle are getting closer to you all now. And they're echoing from somewhere to the north. Horn, your eyes suddenly snap wide open. You can feel the pain from the wounds that were inflicted upon you by the horrible cone-like creature with a central eye that feasted on you and tore at your armor.
Horn looks up, grabs the Birdman's shoulder. Thank you. Horn says thank you.
You are welcome, Horn.
There is a splashing noise now from the chamber, which you just all crawled out of. What are the rest of you doing? Scorched.
Moving the safe. Scorched is going to go over to the water line, see if he can see what's going on.
Okay. And you're going with him, Fathom?
Correct.
What about you, Twinkle?
I would like to use my healing potion.
Go for it. So, Scorched and Fathom, as you begin to look around the corner, you suddenly see a tall, unarmored man who doesn't seem to have a whole lot of hair on his head. And he's illuminated by torchlight from another man. And the tall man with very little hair stumbles into view from a nearby tunnel that you had not head down yet. And he appears to be bleeding from his side, and he's wielding a great club. And you watch as he locks eyes with you both, and then suddenly spins around to block an attack from another muscular man who is apparently the source of this torchlight. And he's wielding a dagger in one hand, and he's holding a torch in the other. And this person, this muscular man with a dagger and a torch, doesn't appear to have any flesh covering his skull. I need you all to roll initiative.
Before that, can I cast Cure Wounds on Alistair?
After you roll initiative. If you haven't already done so, you had one action. So if you haven't already done so, you'll have to wait until your initiative. Okay, did everybody roll? It's a 4, so it's 22. Alright, so Fathom, it's your turn.
Alright. Now, not the man with the war club, but the other man is the one with no skin on his face.
Yes. As you peek around the corner and you look at the man with the great club, he has like a scarred face. Like one side, when he looked around the corner just before he spun to block the attack, you could see that half of his face is scarred. The other man, though, he looks like Skeletor. Copyright Hanna-Barbera. That is a critical hit. Fathom, as you lurch around the corner, firing off eldritch blasts towards the man wielding the dagger, lit up with like a Christmas tree with his very bright torchlight. And once again, your eldritch blast finds him, bouncing off this plasma-like fire emitting from your arm and arcing out and like a softball splashing off of his body.
I will move and end my turn.
Okay. He now has looked off in the direction from where that attack came from. And he looks at the man with the scarred face and he says, "Your friends cannot save you, Mortlock." And he will use his action to disengage, and he runs away. And Scorch, it's your turn. You just watched the man with no flesh on his face, after being attacked by Fathom, run off to the east. And the other man now is breathing heavily. He's got one hand up on his side where he's bleeding profusely. His shirt is completely stained with blood on that side of his body. And he turns, he looks, and he's turning to look in your direction, but he's not wielding his great club in an aggressive fashion at this point. He's more reacting to the fact that this person, after saying something about you guys, has run off.
Scorch is going to approach him, and he's going to ask, what is your purpose here?
Okay. You can use your action to do so. He will respond back to you, because it's... Right. Unless you don't want to do anything else with your bonus action.
Nope.
Okay. He looks to you, and he says, "Quickly after him. I was betrayed. This assassin conspired with my brothers to kill me. If you hadn't intervened, I'd be dead. I owe you all my life. This way." And he begins rushing down, wielding his great club. and disappears from view. Oh, I'm sorry, Horn. Let me make you no longer unconscious. There you go. And that was his turn. Alistair, it's your turn.
Alistair is just gonna, for the moment, just peek out because he didn't hear everything. He just kind of heard talking going on.
Yeah, you heard a gruff sounding, a couple of different new voices not familiar to you. And you see Fathom off to the side near the body of one of the ropers, and you can see Scorch near one of the other corpses of the ropers.
Hey, so what's going on?
And I'll hold my action because there's nothing for him to do to his knowledge right now.
Okay. Twinkle, it's your turn.
I am not moving. I am scared and like on the verge of death. So I'm gonna hold my action.
Okay. Horn, it's your turn.
I'm gonna walk up over here and cast Cure Wounds
Okay.
for 22 points.
Alright. Alistair, you feel a warmth of healing as your wounds are knitted together. And at this point, you are all in free action at this point.
Oh, we are?
Yes, you are all in free action. The combatants have left your sight. You can no longer hear the sounds of fighting going on. So what would you all like to do?
I would like to roll and see if I know anything about these ropers we killed.
Okay, make a nature check. You would know that these types of creatures will eat practically anything. And they have you would know in your travels that typically their bodies retain like things that they can't digest, like gemstones, coins, metal, that sort of thing.
In that case, I'm cutting it open, going in.
Okay. You cut into the body of the roper, and you find quite a bit, actually, which I will throw into your inventory.
Actually, throw it into the party loot.
Sure, I can do that.
Alistair, seeing Scorch probably start head off, is going to follow the Scorch so he doesn't go alone.
You find a vial of some sort filled with a strange glowing blue liquid. You find some sort of a cloak, a cape, and it's very it's covered in gross innards. You find a little box, a little cube-like box, and then you find several gemstones of various kinds.
Nice. Is that just from one of the ropers or both of them?
Essentially, that's what you guys find after investigating both of the bodies.
Thank you.
Okay.
Scorch is gonna go down the hallway and see
Okay.
where the other two men went.
Sure. As you peer in the corner, you see a door ajar, and you can see the man. There's a blood-stained handprint on the door. The door's cracked a bit, and you can see that man that you saw before. He is currently taking a knee, and he's breathing heavily. And he's trying to staunch the bleeding.
Come along, Twinkle. It's not safe to be by yourself.
Scorch is gonna give him a potion of healing.
And he looks to you and sort of raises an eyebrow, and he takes it from you. Was that 2d4 or
Plus
40?
2. So that's
Plus
9
2.
healing.
Okay. 9 healing. All right. Gotcha. I have adjusted his health for you. Yeah, so the rest of you are all just sort of rushing towards this chamber where the gentleman disappeared?
Yes.
Okay. As you peer inside, Fathom rushing past Scorched. Scorch rushes in as well. You see the gentleman. You can also see all sorts of broken furniture, and you can see crates and barrels, just all kinds of trash, everything lining the walls of this chamber.
I will use detect magic on the room.
Okay.
What happened here?
To the west, you see a large black door. And you don't detect anything magical within the room, Fathom. How wide is your range on that?
How wide
Depends
is
on
my
the material.
range?
Yeah, for your detect magic.
Let me check. $30 feet.
30 feet? Okay. You get a sense that there are hints of magic coming to the west from where you are now, beyond that door.
Very well. I will open that door.
Okay. As you open the door, you see stubs of burnt torches that are littering the floor of the hall that leads within it, and at the western end you see a 6-foot tall statue, and it stands atop a 2-foot tall block of red stone, and there is the man with no skin on his face. He is currently standing there in front of it, and he has put his torch into a torch holder in a nearby wall. Just as you walked in, he turns around with
Eldritch Blast.
with his weapon. Go ahead and roll your attack on him. He's still in the tracker, and then we'll go ahead and have everyone roll initiative again. Guess I should roll for this person too? Why not? All
We
right.
got 2 nat 20s on that initiative roll.
That's pretty nice. All right. And go ahead and say that you were there at the start of the initiative order, Twinkle. And Alistair, it is your turn. You just heard the sound of the magical Eldritch Blast, which you've become accustomed to hearing since you've been traveling with Fathom. And you see him standing within the doorway after he's pushed open this door and has fired the blast into the chamber.
I move up and I see this guy, and I can I see around Fathom, or do I need to go in front?
You'd have to get in there, otherwise he would have cover from whatever you're trying to do.
I'm gonna be right here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to attack him with Chill Touch.
All right. That is most definitely a hit, as your magical effect suddenly coalesces around him like a hand, a strange spectral hand, slashing at the cloaked individual. He sort of recoils for a moment and then looks to you like he's getting ready to make a beeline and run straight at you.
Does he count as undead?
You don't know.
I mean, it's for the attack, not for me.
Oh, no. He is not.
Alrighty. I end my turn.
Okay. Fathom, it's your turn. The man has just taken an attack from you, and it's also taken an attack from Alistair, and he fails your Toll of the Dead. You watch as he, with one hand, reaches up to his bare skull and makes a horrible moaning as oh, and he's looking towards you as you run around the corner out of sight. Is that the end of your turn? Okay. Vaz will rush towards you, Alistair. Let's see. Okay, so with his okay. Make a wisdom save, Alistair.
Yes, my big brain.
So as he rushes towards you, this skull-like face, the eye sockets suddenly seem like they're widening, and this red light, this sort of like almost like a strobe-like effect begins to like flash in the eye sockets, and you are stunned. And he then lashes out with his dagger.
Little does he know, Alistair likes to be.
Thankfully, okay, well, the second one hit, but thankfully the first one didn't, because he attacks twice. And you take 6 damage. His first attack goes wide, hits the side of the cavern wall, and then yanks his dagger out, and then stabs you in your solar plexus. And you feel it. It's horrible, horrible feeling. And that's the end of his turn. Twinkle, it's your turn. You're hearing the sounds of fighting going on.
And as long as I can see somebody, which I can see Horn, I will stay far away from that and I will hold my action.
Very well. Horn, it is your turn. You see Scorched ahead of you. You can just barely see the back of the man with the burned face.
One walks in the room.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I look at Scorch. Is this man friendly? Holding my sword up.
I believe so, yes.
Do I see Alistair getting attacked?
If you look in Fathom's direction, you'll see me pointing like he's over there.
Oh! Horn see, can I actually see him or no?
You can kind of see him from where you're at. If you tried to attack with like a ranged attack, you would have 3/4 cover though.
Okay. You see like Horn like look over this dude's head. Oh! I see him now! Kind of. So, -5?
-5.
Alright. Sacred Flame! Oh, wait. The dex save!
That's a success.
And this is radiant damage.
So he succeeded, so I'm not sure why you're rolling damage on him.
Isn't it half if he succeeded?
Not on Sacred Flame.
Ah, hold on. Oh, my bad. Sorry.
That's okay.
I misinterpreted the spell.
No worries.
My bad.
Oh, whoops.
All right.
There we go.
Honor will move up to there and ends his turn. My bad. Sorry, DM.
No worries.
Horn's too anxious. Die!
You can
Horn, who are you talking to?
Horn is monologuing.
Horn is talking to his deity in his head.
And is that the end of your turn?
Hang on. Sacred
Yes.
Flame, the target must succeed, or say that the target gains no benefit from cover for this saving throw.
Oh?
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, well, I mean, it wouldn't matter because it was a save. It was
okay.
saved, not an attack, so it wouldn't
Yeah,
matter
okay.
anyway.
It's just funny
Alistair's
to
not even involved, and he's all like, "Wait a minute!"
I am involved. I have a dagger in my chest.
Yeah, he's more involved than me.
All right, Scorch, it's your turn. You're rushing towards your friend to defend him.
He just
Yes.
starts punching
So
down.
Scorch is gonna walk into the room, try and grab this character, and he's gonna cast Shocking Grasp on him.
Go for it. And that is a miss, unfortunately. As you reached out, he happened to shift his body, and now he's staring at you with the dagger in his hand. A Mortlock,
Oh, on my turn.
who was taking a knee, used half of his movement to stand up. Or actually, I'll just say, you know what? He wasn't prone. He was just taking a knee. He rushes forward with his great club, and with stronger resolve, he yells out, "I'll kill you!" and rushes forth with his great club, bashing into this creature, smacking him. And doing 11 damage with the first attack, smacking him yet again, this time critically hitting him.
Nice.
And you just watch Scorch and Alistair as with his second attack, he smashes him, stunning him for a moment, and then caves his skull in. And the skull shatters, and black viscous matter sprays out of the top of his neck, and the body flumps to the ground, dead. And you are out of combat.
Scorch is gonna turn back to this character and says, "So you never answered my question. What are you doing here?"
While they're talking, I'm gonna go dig through this body.
Okay.
Alistair just stands there stunned.
He had something magic on him.
Horn walks up to Morlock and pushes him in the back. Are you a bad guy too?
Give me one moment, please. Alright. I will throw that into party inventory so you guys can figure out what to do with it later. You pull the dagger off his body. That appeared to be what was emanating that magic.
Good.
Okay.
As I look around the room, do I notice anything else magical?
Are you casting it again, or were you casting as a ritual?
It's still active. It doesn't really go away. It's like normal eyesight for me.
Okay.
It's at will.
You're getting something from that statue. And you each receive 360 experience points for that encounter. And
I'm gonna just look at this statue while I wait for them to finish up with the new guy.
okay. Sorry, I got overwhelmed with people talking to me. So, Scorched, what were you saying to the gentleman with the burned face?
I was repeating my question as to what he was doing here.
And he looks to you and he says, "It's my family. The Van Thamper family is paying the bleak cultists to murder people in the city. My mother's goal is to prove that the Silver Flame can't do its job. And once the city loses faith in them, the Flame will have less of a reason to stay here in Stormreach. And with them gone, no one can stand in the way of my mother becoming the city's sole Storm Lord and install her own council. If she gets her way, Stormreach will share the Obsidian City's fate and get dragged down into Shavaroth.
And one
I'm
of this
Silver
creature
Flame.
here, Scorch is gonna gesture over towards the dead body.
That's Vaz. It's one of the assassins that were hired by my brothers to kill me.
So I take that you're not siding with your family in this matter?
But considering they tried to slay me, then no. I don't want any part of this. I didn't want any part from at the start. I came here to find my brother and try to snap him out of it. But when I arrived here, I found nothing. I found more of those stupid cultists, and then one of them tried to kill me. Another one tried to kill me, but my pet ropers ate one.
You have pet ropers?
Yes. Well, apparently I did. They don't seem to be alive anymore. They must have been slain by the other cultists.
Must have been.
It's a shame about that.
But I owe you my life, all of you.
Well, you can consider your favor paid in full. All to do is go to the Silver Flame and tell them what exactly your family's been doing.
Well, before we do that, we need to get evidence. My word will mean nothing to them. It's my word against us Stormlords, even my own mother. My mother is one of the 3 remaining members of the Stormlords, which govern Stormreach. She was the one who convinced the leader of the Silver Flame presence in the city to travel to the Obsidian City and meet with the Mulgrave University representative, Professor Thavius Krieg. But the Reaper hasn't returned, and with him gone, the Silver Flame is leaderless and vulnerable.
So we need to find this Reaper and bring them back to Stormreach.
That would be the only way to restore order. I'm sure that the Silver Flame want to find him just as much as many others who thought of him as a folk hero. There's not many in the city that don't know the name of Samael the Reaper.
And where do you think this Samael went?
He went to the Obsidian City. Haven't you been listening? The city was dragged down into Shavaroth. I take it from your blank expression that you don't know what Shavaroth is.
Well, my blank expression is because I'm a Warforged, but no, I've never heard of that place.
Shavaroth is a battleground, a blasted wasteland where the blood war is constantly fought. Have you heard of the blood war?
No.
Here, I can help with this. Look, I'm from another plane of existence. I don't know anything about your wars or your landscapes, so just talk to me like I'm stupid and explain everything to me slowly.
Very well. If you've made it this far into their hideout, you've killed most of the leaders of the Bleak cult. Vaz was one of the leaders. Without the leaders, the cult will break up. I don't have any money on me, but I still owe you my life, and you're welcome to take the treasure that the cultists keep nearby.
You don't say. Where is it?
It's in that alcove to the south of the flooded chamber where I first saw you all. Now, my older brother Thirstwell, he uses imps to spy throughout the city. And he has the bathhouse under surveillance, so he probably knows that you are all here. He's very sickly and he seldom leaves my mother's estate. Amric, the one who paid, most likely, these cultists to attack and try to kill me, is the one that regularly pays the bleak cultists. And he runs a money-lending business out of a tavern called the Low Lantern, down at the docks. My mother doesn't expect much of me, but she thinks the world of him. He's always been her favorite. My suggestion to you is to either track down Amric or Thirstwell, and either beat some facts out of him that you can take back to the Silver Flame, or raise wherever they're hiding out to find more proof of my family and, unfortunately, their designs against the city. With that said, I am leaving.
Fare thee well.
Thank you. Do you require anything else before I leave? Do you have any questions at all?
No.
Horn looks at Fathom. Do you want him to leave?
Sure, let him go.
Ah, yes, as you wish. As he sniffs his back of his neck.
Okay. What about the rest of you? Are you all letting him pass and leave?
I'll let him leave.
Okay. You all watch as the tall man with the burnt face, which I will share a picture of him for you so you can see just how burnt up he looks.
As he starts getting away from everybody, I'm going to psychically put a thought into his head that he dropped something.
And he turns around and looks in the direction of the rest of you and starts slapping himself. And he says, "What was that?"
What was what?
Someone just said that I dropped something.
Nobody said anything.
I don't
Did
have
you
time.
drop something?
Don't think so. I don't have time for foolishness. I fare thee well. Good luck. I don't know what reason you had for descending down into this place and fighting the cultists, but I appreciate it. I owe you all.
Cultist. I mean, what do you normally do with cultists here? We kill them back where I'm from.
My family has a tendency to pay them to kill people. At least that's what my mother and my brothers have been doing.
Well, why don't you just pay us to kill people?
I'm not the one who is paying them to kill people, innocent people in the city. You do understand...
Oh, yeah.
You do understand that if my mother is not brought to justice, this city is doomed.
You want us to kill her?
I want you to bring her to justice. If killing her is part of that, then so be it. She has not exactly been much of a mother to me in years past.
Is there somewhere we can meet up with you later?
What did you have in mind?
How about a inn tomorrow, lunchtime? We can discuss the particulars of bringing your mother to justice.
That is out of the question. As soon as I leave this bathhouse, I am leaving the city. I'm never coming back.
Very well. What's your mother's name?
She is the Stormlord. Do you not know of Stormlord Van Thamper?
I am from literally another world.
Horn knows of her.
Then, of course, you know that Thalamra Van Thamper has only recently been a Stormlord after one of the Stormlords passed, and they had no one in their line to continue. The title of Stormlord is passed on typically to the firstborn in the family. The previous Stormlord's gone, and now another one gone with no heirs. I'm sure you heard about the disappearance of the one that went to the Obsidian City.
Yes, with this really dramatic Reaper guy.
Yes.
Okay, we'll see what we can do. No promises.
Horn says no promises either.
And he just sort of casts a look at all of you, once again checking his pockets, in case he really did drop something. He hefts his great club over his shoulder, and he stomps out of the room, and he is gone.
Fathom,
Yeah.
you said they killed cultists from where you're from.
Well, yeah.
Is that why you ran away?
I didn't run away. I escaped. And no, I'm not a cultist.
Run away and escape is the same thing.
Okay. Hey, Scorched. That statue up there is 100% magic. You want to go check it out with me?
Horn will check it out with you.
I think Horn should check it out with a charge.
We don't know what it does.
One way to find out.
Okay.
That is one way, but probably not the most efficient. But if my way doesn't work, I'm 100% down for it.
So Fathom and Horn, you're approaching the statue. What are you doing, Alistair? I think we lost Alistair. How about you, Twinkle? What are you doing?
Why
I'm
don't you,
staying
Twinkle,
back.
come with the... Twinkle, why don't you come with me and we can go find that treasure that he offered us?
Okay.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
So,
Anything that doesn't involve Fathom.
Aw,
So-
I'm sure you can sniff it out, you little meat bag.
Scorch, there is a little bit of a drop. This seems to be like an area where refuse was thrown into the water in the chamber beyond. But you could very easily like slide down. It's at like a 45-degree angle.
I'll do that.
Okay. Fathom, as you get within 5 feet of the statue, I need you to make a charisma saving throw. Okay. You have this overwhelming sensation compelling you to kneel for a moment, but then that feeling went away as you shook your head and the effect wore off of you.
I would like to investigate this. What should I use? Arcana?
Sure, you can do that. You can also just roll an investigation check just to investigate the statue itself. Okay. There's not much about the statue that appears to be overly obvious to you that it would be able to do whatever it was trying to do to you. You do notice that the head appears to adorn a very similar mask-like carved image. Very much so like the one that you saw Twinkle crawl into and turn into a pincushion. It's like
No.
skull-like face with horns curving upwards coming out of the forehead. And Scorched, Twinkle, you wander back into that room. You find several chests.
Come on,
Can I
guys.
open
There's
them?
nothing here for us. Let's move on.
Each of them appear to be locked.
Why don't you give it a
Wait,
try,
wait.
Twinkle?
I want to try something. It works for
Okay.
Fathom all the time. Step back. I take in a really deep breath. And I make very dramatic arm movement.
Okay.
L-Stitch Blast! And I wave my arms all magically.
There's an echoing sound of the diminutive form of Twinkle yelling out her phrase. The sound echoes, and you can all hear the sound echoing throughout the tunnels.
I launched 2 Eldritch Blast over her head.
Okay. You blast one of the chests with 2 Eldritch Blasts, and the chest is now blackened, but the lock is still secure. It has not opened.
Yeah! Aw!
Good job, Twinkle. You just didn't have any oomph to it, though. Horn, why don't you go over there and just knock those locks off?
But if they didn't break, don't you think they might be magical locks?
You want me to look and see?
Yes.
Okay, I'm looking. Are they magical locks?
They are magical locks.
Oh, well, fuck me. They really are magic.
And you get the sense that one of the chests closest to you appears to be emanating magic.
Hey, Scorched, you got a spell that can do this?
What kind of spell?
I don't know, man. Something that can unlock these locks.
I don't know anything about magic.
Alistair, are you looking at the locks on these chests at all?
Alistair has not, but he was letting everyone do his thing, and if they couldn't, he was going to try his key ring.
Okay. Alistair rushes past all of you, and pulling out your key ring, you notice that one of the keys appears to have what appears to be the end of the key appears to be in the shape of a dragon's skull. It's a draconic skull. And you see the exact same visage of a draconic skull for each one of the locks, for each one of these chests. You can see a dragon skull forming the actual keyhole to the chest.
Alistair will try this key that a mysterious voice echoed in his head saying, "It looks like a draconic dragon."
Okay.
And he's like, alright, let's use that one.
All right. You open the first chest, the closest one to you, and you can see that it is filled with copper pieces. A lot of copper pieces. And 2 red crystal vials with gold stoppers.
I go to the next one, and for the sake of it, I'm gonna say this is all just gonna go to the party.
Okay. The second chest is filled with silver pieces. And you can see a scattering of gemstones mixed within.
What are they? A bunch of pirates?
The third,
Maybe.
I think one of them has OCD.
when you open the third one, you see a delicate porcelain dragon mask resting on a bed of copper and silver coins. And the fourth chest, when you open it, contains a bronze crown with 5 points. And each spire of each of the points is shaped and painted to resemble one of the 5 kinds of chromatic dragons: black, blue, green, red, and white.
I think Twinkle needs that one.
And that chest is a little... That chest is a little smaller. There's nothing else but the coin. It's filled with like a very cushy material that the crown was resting in.
I cast my vote for Twinkle to have that crown.
Will you stop interrupting me? You can't even see it. Ah! Alistair puts it on and turns around. Look, guys, I'm a storm.
Alistair turns around and says, I'm a storm.
Storm Lord.
Storm Lord. Sorry, you got cut off there.
Oh, I got cut off many times.
Horn likes it. Horn likes the new look.
So if you would all like, I will drop all of these items into the party inventory. Each of the chests weighs a certain amount. The first one weighs... It weighs, best guess, if any of you are trying to guess it, that's the heaviest of all of them. The one that's filled with all the copper pieces and the red vials. The second chest is considerably less heavy, like almost like half the weight. And the third chest is sort of in between the second and the first chest. And of course the fourth chest, which is the smallest, that one doesn't weigh hardly anything. A few pounds. But I can throw all that in the party inventory if you wish.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty, one by one, I will toss all that into the party loot. And you guys are rich.
Woohoo!
Alright. So what would you all like to do now after gathering the contents of these chests?
Scorch is going to take some of the chests, give it to Horn, and he's going to take the other chests.
Okay. I'm also going to put the chests... I'll put the chests into the inventory, party inventory as well.
Horn looks at Scorch.
Can I sit inside of one?
I mean, they're filled with stuff.
Is there no room on top?
You can sit on my shoulder, Twinkle.
Yay!
Guys, we need to find somewhere to recuperate. We're in rough shape, and we got a lot of stuff we need to go through. And we need to decide what we're doing next.
What's wrong with sleeping in here?
Don't you want to find a place more comfortable?
What he said.
But what if something tries to kill/eat us?
Twinkle, that could happen anywhere. You could be on a rooftop and a dragon could eat you.
But it's not happening now.
Or you could stay here until something comes along and decides to eat you. But I'm not staying.
That's because you're a cultist.
Okay, so what would you guys like to do?
We're leaving.
You're leaving this place?
Yes.
Okay. So it takes you a little while lugging these chests. One of them was really heavy, over 70 pounds. I'm sure that if you ask nicely, your very tall and wide Minotaur cleric companion might carry it for you all.
Scorch can lift 200 pounds.
Oh, that's true.
Scorch
What,
says
look
he's
like a
got
mule?
this.
Horn no mule, but Horn a bull. Horn will carry.
So you all make your way back towards the staircase that leads up back towards the bathhouse, to that secret entrance within the bathhouse. And you notice that as you enter into the bathhouse, the man that you sent up here earlier, he's not here anymore. And the door
good.
the door is wide open.
Scorch completely forgot about him. He's just gonna go out and leave.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Horn thinks maybe we should lay low for a little bit. Heal up.
You're part of the guard. Let's just go.
Horn, go where?
Find somewhere to relax, man. I ain't staying here in the bathhouse.
Oh, yeah, yes, of course.
Horn, take us to an inn that has merchants nearby and some pretty robot girls for our Warforged friend.
Warforged. Jeremy, do I know of a place?
Well, you know that realistically the closest place that you guys could go to would be the tavern that you were just at before you came to the bathhouse.
Horn knows the perfect place, and Horn leads them right to the same tavern they left.
Okay.
Well done, Horn. Well done.
All right. So as you all merge from the bathhouse, and start heading into the courtyard, you notice that 5 people are standing in the middle of the courtyard wearing black leather armor and wearing strange, vaguely dragon-like masks. And they're all brandishing curved steel blades reminiscent of dragon claws. And they're all just sort of regarding you. Most of them, their weapons drawn. Some of them have their arms folded with their weapon in their hand. And one of them steps forth and says, "Well, hello there."
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Horn was getting a bath.
My name is Ultis.
A what?
Ultis.
Got it.
The daughter of Kyber guided us here with visions to find stolen property. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
Well, I'm not
Absolutely
property
not.
and I'm not stolen.
Are you sure you didn't lose it?
Amusing. Well, if you don't... I'll tell you what, one of you make a deception check, because you guys would know.
Alright,
How about a
let me see.
persuasion check?
I'm dumb. I literally know nothing.
Alright, I'll take that 14 from Scorched. Ultis looks at you and sort of makes a couple of hand motions. And more individuals begin leaping over the wall and landing softly in the grass of the courtyard. And Ultis looks to all of you, looking to you. Well, then you won't mind standing aside and allowing us to check the bathhouse.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Have fun.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys later.
You should
That
try
place is
the
terrible.
bath.
I wouldn't go in there.
Yeah, take a bath while you're there.
So are any of you holding the chests at this point?
Yeah.
Yes.
Horn is
Of course we
holding
are.
the chest like a moving, like how you move a giant chest in front of
Okay,
him.
so a few of the individuals begin to go into the bathhouse beyond you, passing you, and one of them turns and looks, and then looks straight at you, Horn, looking at the chest you're holding, and then turns and says something in a language, which I will type in the chat. And whoever understands this message, let's see.
Do I see him looking at me?
I won't understand anything because literally there's no languages added.
It should be on your sheet.
Oh yeah, it's on my sheet, but it's not in the little chat thing like it usually is for the language select.
Well, that's weird.
I've mentioned it before, and you're just acting like it's normal.
So only one of you understood that.
It looks like scribbles.
And
Hey, look.
the gentleman that
elk.
was speaking to you all before, he hasn't moved from where he was standing. He now looks at all of you and whispers something, and the 4 individuals that were standing with him, plus the 4 more that leapt over the walls, now draw their weapons and point them at all of you, and Altus says, "Surrender the treasure now."
Horn looks around. Oh, is this yours?
No, Horn, it's not theirs. That belonged to the cultist. And if they want it, they must be cultists too. Let's kill them.
Fathom,
Okay.
how can you kill one of your own?
Do you say that out loud, or do you say that with your telepathy?
No, I said it out loud,
Okay.
staring right at Altus when I said it.
Altus says, "Kill them." Let's all roll initiative. And let me pull up a map for you guys.
No, it was the time that. No, not that time. The one with the.
We'll share a map with you guys here in a moment. Feel free to move your tokens around wherever you guys might have been standing.
You know that rooster in the background? It sounds like Jeremy lives in a voodoo village down there in like Florida. He's surrounded by like Haitians.
And other horrifying things like culture.
Hold on a second. While Fantasy Grounds decides whether or not it likes this map or not. There we go. And I'm going to share it with you guys. And
Hey, Dirk.
Yes.
there you go.
You notice how it looks like we're trying to get you killed right now?
Yep. Uh-huh.
Well, hold on. Hear me out. Welcome to the Kaiju Squad. This is how we do shit.
Yeah. I hope you realize I'm barely standing.
Should have held yourself up to full instead of Alistair.
Horn always heals his friends up for himself. He
You
is
didn't
not
heal
selfish.
You didn't heal Twinkle.
All right. So from behind you, Alistair, a cloaked individual wielding a scimitar now slashes you with his scimitar, or at least attempts to. And you just hear the woof as you just manage to move and duck below his strike. Altus, let's see, will cast... Oh, why not? Fathom, make a wisdom save.
Very well.
Okay. You have this sudden feeling as Altus gestures with an unarmed hand towards you, like he was trying to reach out and touch you, but from 10 feet away from you. And you have this sudden compulsion, this thought in your head, and you felt like your whole body was starting to freeze up. But then the feeling washes away and is gone. And he is going to step back 5 feet. No, he'll step back a little bit, a little stutter step back. as the rest of his men now swarm the rest of you. And Scorched, it is your turn.
Scorch is gonna go up next to Fathom, and then he's going to grab one of the coldest, and he's going to cast a Shocking Grasp.
Gotcha. That is a hit. As you reach out with your bare hand, touching the cultist talon, and you just see the spark of energy. He cries out in pain as your attack hits. And Horn, it's your turn. You're still holding the chest.
Horn looks around. Contemplating if he should drop it right where he's standing.
If you do, I'll
All
kill
right.
you.
Would you like to hold your action, Horn?
Horn will drop the chest where he's standing and pull out his sword and shield.
Okay.
I don't know if that's my full action or not.
I would say that as part of your action, you can drop it and pull out a weapon. Pull out.
Okay.
Well, technically, pulling out a weapon and a shield. I'll go ahead and say that you can do that. Yeah, it's part of your action.
Okay. And that, I mean, if that's my action, I'll end my turn right there.
Well, you can still move and attack. I would say it would be part of your attack to brandish a weapon, because you're just dropping it. It's like discarding a weapon that you already had in your hand, sort of.
Okay.
It's like a free action interacting with the environment, basically.
I'm gonna move right there,
Okay.
in line with Twinkle to protect her, and I will attack this guy.
Alrighty. Unfortunately, you miss as your longsword and cuts a divot into the ground in front of this man.
I confide in the deity, and I've added +10 to that.
You had a +10 to that? Okay.
Yep.
So instead, you hit him. You can roll
Now
your
is
damage.
the time.
Now is the time. More than ever. And you cut a deep slash into him, nearly causing him to bounce off of the wall from the force of your attack as you call out to your deity. Who is your deity, by the way?
I don't think we ever discussed that.
No worries. You could say it's
Samael.
you could
the
say it's
Reaper.
Samael the Reaper. How about that?
Alright, Samael the Reaper.
He's legendary. And
Yeah.
is that the end of your turn?
Did I technically use a bonus action to pull out my weapons?
That was your action. That was your
'Cause
attack action.
If I didn't use my bonus action, I can attack again.
Okay, go for it.
Alright, I'm rolling.
That is a hit.
Oh, whoops, my bad.
That's also a hit.
My
Horn
bad.
is losing his mind. He's just trying to cut everything in sight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whirlwind attack.
There we go.
Luckily, I'm
there-
too short for his sight.
Horn, you cut this man down where he's standing. He falls dead.
And now I'm my turn right there, in a defensive position.
Okay. And Alistair, it's your turn.
Alright, Alistair is going to start with twirling his quarterstaff and entering into his wild shape as spores start to emanate and bloom all over his body
Okay.
and crawl across his quarterstaff. I'm going to add my 9 temp hit points real quick, and then I am going to attack this man
Alrighty.
that dares stand in front of me while I'm in a bad mood.
The man brandishes his weapon, holding it out, blocking and moving your quarterstaff attack away from his body as you attempt to hit him.
I can use inspiration on that, right?
Absolutely. You can reroll the attack if you like.
Yes.
That's a hit. Just remember to mark that off of your sheet. There you go.
I told you, bad move.
You bludgeon the man in his face, cracking his mask. Half of the mask is falling off of his face now, revealing the grizzled look underneath of a human male.
I shall use my reaction and do Halo Spores.
Okay.
Fuck you.
And the spores travel into, and the man unintentionally takes a breath as the spores enter into his mouth, and he begins coughing furiously and falls face first into the fountain, which is right next to where you're standing.
Yes, my children.
I bet he could taste colors.
I bet he does too. And Fathom, it's your turn.
Very well. I'll move back to there.
Okay. As you do, Talonate will use his reaction to attack you.
He doesn't get a reaction because I hit him with my shocking grasp.
Did you though, or did you miss?
No, I hit.
Okay, you did it. Okay, cool. So he will not be able to react because he is still feeling the effects of the the buzzing. And that is a failure on Ultus. And Ultus is now feeling the effects of your attack. And he's calling out and he says, "End them!"
And on my turn.
Okay. Talon 8 now, and response to Scorch's attack, attempts to cut him down with his scimitar. And before he does, he adjusts himself slightly in order to gain advantage on his attack. And he misses. Advantage does Jack. And Twinkle, it's your turn.
Hold on.
Would you like to hold your action?
Sure.
Okay. We'll come back to you then. Talon number 2 rushes towards you with his weapon drawn and attempts to attack you. And he misses. Would you like to do something now?
Sure.
Okay. Go ahead with your turn.
Just give me a second to get my bearings. Trying to attack this person is proving difficult.
No worries. So after this man or woman in robes wearing this strange draconic mask attempts to slash you with his scimitar, but he misses, the blade going wide and scraping off of the stone and wood of the wall next to you. And in response with your dagger, you stab him in his leg, and he cries out in pain. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Okay. Talon number 4 will almost identical to Talon 8's attack, will attempt to slash you, Scorched. But still misses. They both whiff past you, barely scratching your body. The other Talons are now stepping forth, attempting to dogpile on you, Scorched, and doing the same thing. This time hitting. Would you like to use your reaction?
I have no spell slots.
Okay, very well. I think that's the first time that you've ever taken. You take 2 slashing damage as the blade catches your arm. The other Talon now sort of sidesteps around and goes after Alistair, slashing but missing him with the scimitar. Just like a woof of the blade passing. And Fathom, it's your turn again. All of these cultists are pushing you guys backwards. Some of them dogpiling onto Scorch. Some of them attempting to attack Alistair. Altus
From where I
in the
am,
background
can I see
moving
that?
past.
Can I see Talons 2 and Talon 8?
Yes, yes, you can see Talon 2.
Very well. And what about Talon 8?
Talon 8 is got slight cover from Alistair being in the front of him.
Very well.
Okay, that is a hit. As you cast off your Eldritch Blast, blasting this person's body back, flies. Twinkle, you just felt the energy blast pass over your head and catch this person in the face, shattering the mask and alighting their robes in flames for a few moments as they fall dead. Fathom spins, casting the second Eldritch Blast, blasting the other Talon.
And from here, I'm going to fall back a half step and then my turn.
Okay. On Altus's turn. Let's see. He is going to step forward over here. And he pulls a glove off of one of his hands. And he will attempt to hit you, Scorched, with something. His hand is sort of crackling with this dark energy right now. And he hits. And Scorched is suddenly enveloped in this horrible dark green energy that racks your body with pain, Scorched. It's a pain that you haven't felt in quite some time. And Talon number 4 will continue to attempt to cut you down, following up from the attack from Altus to you, but still missing you. And Horn, it is your turn. The individuals that you fell, and then the other one that was menacing Twinkle has been taken out by a blast from Fathom. And you just heard the crackling energy and the sound of Scorch crying out.
No! Horn will run up, move up there to help Scorch watch his back.
Okay.
He'll swing at this culprit. Oh, yes.
That is a critical hit as Horn finally turns around and catches the guy with his horn, which sticks in his neck, and then Horn pushes him off the horn and then decapitates him.
I'm going to move up here.
Okay.
And on my bonus action, I'm going to... What happens if he's against a wall and I want to push him 10 feet? Can I squash him? Or attempt to do something like that? Or no, is that not a thing?
He just doesn't go anywhere.
Oh, okay. I'm going to use my bonus action to gore him with my horns.
Go for it. So, one horn bloodied. Horn, after decapitating the one that you bloodied with one of your horns, you now rush towards the other one, which is right up against the wall.
There. I don't have a horn in my thing, but I know it's 1d6, so...
Okay.
He did 11.
So that's 11 on... Which one is that? Number 8?
Yeah.
Okay. He is
and
very
he pushes
good.
them 10 feet, but... Yeah, they can't go anywhere. Can't put him against the wall, like, hit him.
We'll just say that half of his body is through the wall and out the other side.
Yeah.
And you just all watch as you crush him through the wall. He doesn't quite go through the wall. It was more like created a small hole, and the force of your momentum shoved half of his body through a tiny hole, and he got shredded on the other side.
And Horn will... I got your back, Scorch.
Okay.
And he would move there since I ran against the wall.
Right. I would assume that your head is in his ass right now.
Yeah. And I will
Eh.
end my turn there.
Twinkle, it's your turn. People are dropping like flies. You heard Scorch and Horn yelling out. Sounds of battle.
Can I see Talon number 1 from where I'm at?
Yes, you can. He's sort of perched on the edge of this large fountain on the other side of Alistair. That is a hit. As you pull out your short bow, I assume you dropped your dagger. Knocked an arrow. Catch him in his eye socket, straight through the mask, and he falls down into the fountain, which is now filling with the blood of these dead Talons.
Whoops.
And Alistair, it's your turn.
Alistair's gonna move and try to take some heat off of his friend Scorch.
Okay.
And he's gonna take aim at Talon 4.
That's a hit. And as you step forth, you just pummel this dude, catching him in the chin and breaking the mask and pulverizing his jaw. And he just slumps to the ground, very dead.
Then I am going to turn to Talon 6 and use my bonus action to try to claw.
Okay. Your claw connects, scratching across and pulling the mask off of this woman's face. She's now looking at you wide-eyed, like she wasn't expecting this to go this way, and she's seeing all the death around her now from her companions. She just sort of freaks out as you slash her.
Run, filthy human.
Okay. And in response to that, she yells out and attempts to attack you, Alistair. But she misses, clearly freaked out with her mask pulled off of her face. And Scorch, it's your turn.
Alright. Scorch is going to use his sorcery points. He's going to cast a Shocking Grasp on both the cultists.
Okay. You can target two people at the same time with that?
I can with my sorcery points.
Okay. Alright. That's a hit on both of them. The woman now cries out in pain and gout of blood gushes out of her mouth as she falls to the ground, quite dead. Altus is
Scorch is
rocked by your attack.
And Scorch is going to reposition themselves to block this cultist exit.
Okay.
And then his
And Fathom, it's your turn. You can see almost every single cultist, minus Altus, has fallen. They've all dead from what you can see.
I'm moving forward up there next to Horn.
Okay. That is a critical hit. As Fathom steps forth, fingers splayed out, and in quick succession, with 2 hits, blasts Altus as he bounces off of the wall and pitches forward, dead. And you are
Like I
all out of
said.
combat.
It's like I said, fuck cultist. Alright. So, Horn, we were going to an inn, correct?
Yes, yes. And Horn goes back and picks back up the chest.
I'm gonna dig through Altus's pockets real quick, see if I can find any loose change.
Whoops, I did not mean to do that. Hold on one second. I almost put them back on the counter for you guys to fight them again.
We're ready.
We'll kill him again.
All right. So you're rifling through their pockets. Is that what you said?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So altogether, you find about 50 gold and 150 silver pieces.
Alright, add it to the party loot.
Scorch is going to take the mask off of Altus. He's going to put on his head.
Okay.
Nice.
It's pretty jacked up.
It looks good on you. Hold on, bring it over here so I can mend it. And I will cast Mending and fix the mask.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I'm reading the description. I'm going to cast Mending a bunch of times and fix the mask.
Okay. So heavily laden down with these chests, loot. You're all hurt pretty badly. Where would you like to go next?
To bed.
Going to the tavern.
Okay.
And wait, Scorch will also want to take one of those scimitars, whatever they're using.
Okay. I'll throw a scimitar in your loot.
Is it a scimitar or is it like a staff with a curved blade on the end of it?
No, it's a scimitar.
Okay.
Just your standard fare. Okay.
Now I can go undercover.
All right.
You sure can.
You all exit out from the courtyard, moving away from the bathhouse, back towards
Quickly.
the tavern where you were before. As you stumble into the tavern, you can see that not much has changed in the last what your best guesstimate, couple of hours that you've been gone from here. And
We need a room.
Folks sort of like stare at you for a moment, and then are no longer. They just sort of look at you, and then they stop looking at you. And the owner and proprietor, the half-elven gentleman from behind the bar says, "Well, looks like you all been through the ringer."
Yeah.
You should be the other guy.
I'd rather he didn't. We don't need witnesses.
All right. So you would all like to grab a place to rest and relax and figure out what you're doing next?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to remind you all that unfortunately, you cannot benefit from a long rest at the moment. You would essentially have to wait until nightfall to take your next long rest.
What time is it?
Oh, it's not that late, actually. It's only a little past 10 a.m.
Oh, really?
We'll
yeah.
just wait out the rest of the day then.
You just want to hang out here the rest of the day?
Yeah, because I want to go through and identify all of our magical items, and that's going to take me about 1 hour per item.
Okay. Do you have the spell slots necessary to do that?
I do not. I have a ritual, which is unlimited.
Okay. So did you all want just one room or a couple of rooms or something like that?
I'd like one big one that they got it so we can hang out and keep an eye on everybody.
They do have, similar to the room that you met that woman before, Tarina. They have those big meeting rooms with big tables and chairs everywhere. So if you guys wanted to just like rent that room for a while to hang out in, like they won't charge you if you decide that you want to, grab rooms for the evening. Yeah, anyone who has paid for a room can use those areas like common areas. But as you noticed before, they appear to be areas that are used for privacy. And once you're inside and lock the door, Tarina used that to mask any potential prying eyes from listening in on your conversation before. At least that's what you gathered from the last time you were here. So if you'd like, we'll say that you took the time to go ahead and identify those items. I will do that for you.
Yes.
Okay.
And while I'm doing that, what's everybody else doing? Just hanging out in the room staring at me?
I'm pretty much
The horn is
If I could
staring
breathe.
at you.
I'm looking for cats.
Horn
What are
was
the-
staring at me?
Horn is staring
Horn
at you.
Horn wants to room with you, Fathom.
Okay.
Okay.
Twinkle's looking for cats. And Scorch, what did you say? You broke up on my end.
I was saying I was pretty much breathing down your neck, but I was just joking.
Oh, okay.
Scorch
I
is
don't
just going to
mind.
hang out in the common area.
And dream of the days of ration.
Hey, Alistair, what are you doing?
I'm just kind of clawing one of the tables with my talons.
Okay.
Okay. How many magical items do we have?
Well, you have what appears to be 2 potions of fire breath. This
Okay.
sort of a flickering orange liquid, which, after drinking, you can use a bonus action to exhale fire at your target within 30 feet of you, dealing 4d6 fire damage on a failed save of a DC 13 dexterity saving throw.
Damn right.
Street name, Hot Breath.
You have 2 of
Put the
those.
ghost peppers in there.
The dagger, which you took off of the body of Vaz, appears to be a +2 dagger. Very similar in form and function to the one that Twinkle already uses.
Very well.
Okay. The other vial, sort of a glowing blue viscous fluid. You don't really get much off of it. I'll tell you what, make an intelligence check. You get a sense that whatever this is, it's sort of like a naturally occurring. It feels like a potion, but you can't quite. You've never
So it's
encountered.
magical in nature, but it's not a magical item.
You get a sense that this is something similar to a magical potion, but you can't quite place exactly what it is.
That's weird.
However, the rest of your friends would notice that this vial is very similar to the vials that they found underneath the shop back in Sharn.
I can't get a read on this, guys. It's magic, but it's not something I can really identify. You ever seen anything like this? I'm going to toss it up where they can see.
You could try
Dragon's
drinking
blood.
it and find out.
Scorched, what did you say?
It's dragon's blood.
What's that? Like real dragon's blood? I thought
It's
the
a
glow was
drug.
red.
It is a drug.
A drug? What does it do?
You taste
I
colors.
don't know. I never took
Um,
dragon's blood.
Yeah, unfortunately, no one ever really explained the different types of dragon's blood to you, any of you.
If I were, I think we did once. I think they said it was for people with dragon marks. It helps them enhance their powers.
And sorcerers.
And it has the nasty side effect of making your skin turn into dragon scales.
That is true.
Okay. Scorched, go ahead and take that with you, man.
All right, I'll take that.
The cape is filthy. Appears to be made out of a fine red wool with gold braiding.
It's
And
just a cape.
It has a faint smell of brimstone. And it looks like this. And what you have here is the Cape of Mont Blanc. While wearing it, you can use it to cast Dimension Door as an action.
What?
And you can only use it once a day.
All right, I'm going to explain to everybody what it does. Does anybody in particular want this?
Horn says you.
All right. I'll throw it on.
I agree. I already have a cape.
And it has a constant faint smell of brimstone.
Oh, I don't mind that. All right.
The final item that was gathered from the guts of the roper appears to be a little box, about the size of like a jewelry box. And when you open it, you see that there's a metal cube in it that's 1 inch on each size. But it feels like it weighs far more than what it should. And it looks like this. And what you have discovered is known as Darren's Instant Fortress.
Well,
That's useful.
You can use an action to place this 1 inch metal cube on the ground and speak its command word. The cube rapidly grows into a fortress that remains until you use an action to speak the command word that dismisses it, which works only if the fortress is empty. The fortress is a square tower, 20 feet on a side and 30 feet high, with arrow slits on all sides and a battlement atop. Its interior is divided into 2 floors, with a ladder running along one wall to connect them. The ladder ends as a trapdoor leading to the roof. When activated, the tower has a small door on the side facing you, and the door only opens at your command, which you could speak as a bonus action. It is immune to the knock spell and similar magic, such as that of a chime of opening. Each creature in the area where the fortress appears must make a DC 15 dexterity save or take 10d10 bludgeoning damage on a failed save. Or half as much damage on a successful one. In either case, the creatures are pushed to an unoccupied space outside, but next to the fortress. Objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried take the damage and are pushed automatically. Tower is made of adamantine, and its magic prevents it from being tipped over. Roof, the door, and the walls each have 100 hit points and are immune to damage from non-magical weapons, including siege weapons, and resistance to all other damage. Only a wish spell can repair your fortress.
okay. Well,
You have found
wants to
apparently
go
a
into
very
that?
useful and powerful item.
Scorch does, because it's heavy.
Scorch, do you want to hold on to that?
No one objects.
Orange
It
says you should have it
benefits
scorched.
everybody. So whoever holds onto it is really inconsequential. I just trust your judgment to use it.
And at this point, would any of you like to take a break?
I'm good to go.
Yeah, I think I'm okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
Hey, Horn,
Yes.
is this shield that we got in here better than what you have?
Yes. Orange says yes.
Is anybody using this shield?
I'm not using it anymore.
All right, Horn, go ahead and grab it.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Just throw your old one in there and we'll sell it off later.
Oh, thank you. Orange is gracious. Thank you.
And who wants to breathe fire?
Me.
Twinkle gets the 2 potions of fire breath.
Woohoo! I'm a has hot breath.
With that dagger, Twinkle, you wanted other daggers?
There's daggers?
There's a +2 dagger in here.
Yes. Never mind. I has one already, just like it.
So if anybody
you,
wants
Alistair,
a
do you
+2
want one?
dagger, grab it.
So where have you all been doing this? Are you using one of those meeting rooms?
Yeah.
Okay. So time goes by. You're able to identify all of the items, and there is a knock on the door after a while.
Oh boy.
Scorch will go answer the door.
Okay.
No one's home.
As you open the door, you see Tarina holding a tray of goblets of wine. And she says, Alan said that you were up here, but I didn't believe it. I thought you'd all be dead after going to the bathhouse. He sent this
Almost.
He set up this wine.
Scorch will take the tray of wines. Thank you.
What did you find out, if you don't mind me asking?
Scorched will step aside and let her enter the room.
And she does so.
Right. And then Scorch will close the door and lock the door behind her. We found out that this cult is being hired by one of the Storm Lords in order to show that the what is the sorry, what was it? Oh no, show that the Silver Flame is incapable of running the city.
And she looks at you for a moment and she says, which Stormlord?
One moment, I try and look at my notes.
I could just tell you it's the Thalamra Venthamper.
Her.
Okay. And the color just sort of drains out of this woman's face, and she says, and you have proof of this.
We met her son down there, and apparently she hired an assassin in order to kill him.
Why would she kill her own son? Or try to kill her own son?
Why not?
Well, that's why I'm asking you. You do have more information than I do. I had no clue that one of the Stormlords was implicated in the killings that have been going on.
Yeah, I think it's because that he's not agreeing with the way that she thinks should run things, and that if she runs the Silver Flame out of town, then the city is going to fall.
What do you mean fall?
Something about the Obsidian City, and
Yes, I know
I
about
think
this.
some sort of invasion.
What are you talking about, an invasion?
For an invasion, I think, and they're trying to fight back against the Silver Flame, I suppose.
And you heard all of this from who? You said one of her sons that she tried to kill?
A man with a burnt face and a big club.
Burnt face. Okay. That sounds like Mortlock Van Thamper. He's got about the only person that I know of these parts that resembles that description.
Yeah, that guy.
And he also came from the Obsidian City.
What came from the Obsidian City?
Didn't we come from the Obsidian City?
Who? You guys?
Yeah, weren't we there?
No.
Oh, I thought that portal was from the Obsidian City.
No, you guys were in Fathom's realm.
Ugh.
So, Tarina just sort of strokes her chin for a moment, looking at all of you and saying, well, what do you all plan to do now, then? You clearly... Well, that's a given. After that, after you've rested and gathered your wits, what are you planning on doing?
We'll decide tomorrow. We're tired, and there's no reason to plan on planning out something really big while we're tired.
Okay, well... I will be around if you need me.
Hey, you know of anybody that's willing to buy some spell books around here?
Willow might know.
Who?
He's the artificer that likes to hang out in the tap room.
Oh, yeah, him.
He might know someone. He might also know someone from the Mulgrave University who would be interested in them. But I'm afraid that most of them have left the city. Went off into the jungle towards one of the ruins.
Very well.
Well, if there's nothing else... And she stands up and takes the empty tray now, tucks it under her arm, and heads out the door.
What time is it?
We'll say that it's just after noon right now. We'll say that it's probably about 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
I'm gonna go downstairs and see if Willow knows anybody who wants to buy these 3 spell books we got.
Okay. You get downstairs.
Did anybody want that +2 dagger?
I don't
No.
need it.
No.
No, Horn thinks you could sell it.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take it with me then.
Okay.
Horn will come. Horn is bodyguard.
And I'm
No.
gonna take the bronze. Wait, no, I'm not. Just the 3 spell books and the +2 dagger.
Okay. You get downstairs and you can see that Willow is comfortably resting and sleeping in his chair, and he has on his one of his wrists. You can see that the little mechanical crab is just sort of sitting there, and every so often it twitches.
I'm gonna psychically tell him that his pants are on fire.
Okay. He's asleep, and
Oh,
he hears
he'll
that.
hear it.
He
Oh,
hears
yeah.
that. He hears that in his mind, and he just sort of and wakes up. What if? And looks around. Oh, it's you. Hello.
Hey, Willa. Tell me, do you know anybody who would want to buy these things here?
And he looks at the handful of books and he says, "My, interesting. Why did you acquire those, if you don't mind me asking?"
Bad people casting bad spells. You know how it goes.
Oh, I certainly do. Well, I suppose you could take it to Silvira, but I don't think she's in town. Silvira would most likely take them off your hands.
How long is she going to be out of town, you think?
I don't know. She has been with the Mulgrave University. They went out to a place called Thronegate. So ruins off in the west from here. Sort of southwest from here.
Gotcha. You don't know of anybody else, though?
You could try one of the magical shops here in the town, and perhaps they'd be able to take it off your hands. But most folk in these parts don't like to buy things from strangers. If you get my drift, I could possibly ask around for you and see if I might be able to find out by tomorrow if anyone would be interested.
Okay, that would be good. Also, what about this dagger?
Oh, well, that is a mighty fine item you have there. You mind if I take a look?
Go ahead.
And he takes a look at the dagger, sort of pulls it out of the sheath, and takes a look at the blade. And he looks back at you and says, "Very, very fine indeed. You might be able to fetch a pretty good price for this item. Depending on who you talk to, of course." And he just sort of shoots a sly grin at you. "I can take it off your hands. I deal and dabble in magical artifacts, typically. Something like this is a bit below my typical accoutrement. But I could possibly give it to you take it off your hands for, say, 3,500 gold. Does that sound reasonable?
I was thinking 3750.
3,750. Well, if you have a hard bargain, these can sell for as much as 5,000 gold.
I want to
3,750
leave
it
you a
is.
little room for overhead.
And he says, I don't carry that much on me. Why don't we settle up tomorrow when I come back with the information on the books?
Sounds good. We'll be here till about lunchtime tomorrow.
Okay, very well. I'm gonna go back to my nap.
Very well. Have a good day.
And he just sort of nestles in. He's sort of created sort of like a nest inside of this chair of like a big old blanket. And the little crab just sort of runs up his arm and disappears under the blanket.
All right. And I'm going to go over to the bartender and see if she wants to exchange out some of these copper and silver pieces for...
Alan, a male elf, looks at you and he says, what do I look like, a bank? That's what you're going to need.
Man.
If you want to exchange money, I'm afraid you're going to have to go talk to one of the banks.
Oh, come
Well-
on. You guys telling me you don't need change when you're up here selling this stuff to people?
When people buy things, of course, but what do you think? I have a vault back here. I can just start changing out things. First of all, I'm the only one running the bar right now, so I can't just step away, and this is going to take time, obviously. Second of all, that's what banks are for.
That's exactly what I think you have back there. You've got me and Horn right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And your point?
Yeah, you're right. I don't know how to mix a drink, and Horn doesn't either.
And he just sort of sets a couple of glasses of that wine that he sent up to you with Tarina. And he says, you know, you're dealing in that much coin, my friend. I don't recommend, even with a large friend of Horn's stature, banding about and trying to exchange coin in different exchanges in the open. Most of my patrons, they won't bother you, but I can't speak to the strangers that walk into my establishment.
I swear we're going to pay you in copper pieces.
It's just like standing there paying him in pennies. 1, 2.
Horn knows bank. Can take you to nice.
How late are
bank.
they open?
Horn would Horn know this? Jeremy?
Horn, you would know that the Bank of Kundarak closes in about 2 hours.
We got 2 hours.
Actually, it's more like an hour and a half. They'll be closed in about an hour and a half.
2 hours, roughly.
How long will it take to get there?
It won't take you that long. You could get there before they close.
It won't be that long.
Let's
We
run on
could-
down there and change this money out real quick so we're not lugging all this crap around.
Yeah, you know we could open a bank account.
Yeah, huh?
Oh, okay. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, let's go get Scorched and take him with us.
Okay.
Alistair, Scorched, come on, let's go.
Are you taking Twinkle?
Where are we going?
Where is she? I thought she climbed out the window after a cat.
That's true. She's been gone this whole time hunting for cats. A very bloody and Twinkle crawls through the window next to the meeting room that you were all sitting in when you all gather together to decide what your next course of action is. And she's carrying a couple of cattails, which she has sort of been kneading together and threading together to make a rope made out of cattails.
All right, Twinkle, come on, let's go. We're going to the bank.
Okay.
And
Okay.
off we go.
So you're all leaving the tavern, lugging these chests of riches out the door.
Well, can we
Yes.
see the bank from where we are?
The bank is across town.
I'm going to dimension door us there most of the way.
You can only do it once per day.
That's okay. I'm getting ready to take a long rest very soon.
Okay. So you're going to use the dimension door. I thought that only works on you and one willing creature.
Does it? I don't have the spell really.
Yeah, I'm
It
pretty.
does, and it's also weight restricted.
Yeah.
What? Man, Dimension Door got nerfed hard. Y'all
Unless
suck
you-
with Dimension Door.
Unless you cast it with like a high levels. I don't know what level it casts.
Yeah,
Man, we used to
yeah,
weaponize that
regular.
spell.
Yeah, they had to like sort of like work it out so that players weren't like trying to use it as a weapon.
Oh man.
So you all want
Alright,
to
well,
haul your ill-gotten gains down to the bank, correct?
What do you mean ill-gotten?
You killed a bunch of people and then stole it.
Yeah.
They
Lord
were
says
bad
these are
people.
ours. This is our stuff.
Yeah, these are bad people. This is property of
Yeah.
the city, and we work for the city.
No. Party, not property of the city. Property of us.
Yes, but we work for the city. Therefore, we're doing good for the city.
Yes.
Technically,
Finders keepers, losers weepers.
technically,
Yeah, this is
found
back
it.
taxes for this religion not paying their taxes.
technically everything that you guys found in the chests, and not in the bodies of the ropers, belonged to the daughter of Kyber, as was mentioned by Ultist.
Do I
Good, she's
understand
paying
that?
for her assassination.
You can roll a history check to see if you understand that phrase, daughter of Kyber.
Nah, I ain't got a clue.
Unfortunately, you've heard of Kyber, whispered in amongst your people, Fathom, that Kyber would be essentially where the overlords are from.
Yeah, but that guy said it was his and that we could have it. Therefore, it's ours. I consider it a donation to the protection of the city,
Okay.
not ill-gotten.
No. I considered it a donation for action. We saved his life. He paid us in kind.
True enough. The city guard's work is never done. Now off to the bank.
Okay. So you all make your way down to the bank, which is not very busy at this time. It's actually kind of slow actually, and the people of the city give you a wide berth as you are marching, I assume in single file line with these giant chests in your hands towards the bank.
No, shoulder to shoulder in slow motion with gangster rap playing.
Very well. So as you make it to the bank, a very stocky-looking dwarven man with a black beard that is braided with all these different precious metals, these little rings of precious metal all throughout the braids of his beard. And he says, "Well met. What can I do for you?" He just sort of like sees this your procession, and you notice that a couple of the tellers that really were bored in this sort of semicircular area were sort of perking up as you all sort of jangle and jingle and walk through the doors. And this man walks up to you and says, "Well, what can I do for all of you today?"
We would like to open up a bank account for our organization.
"Your organization? Well, I can certainly settle you up with that. Why don't we have a seat over here?" And he now gestures towards a sort of an open area with these very plush furniture. And he has a desk that is set up over there. And he begins to sit down on the desk, and several individuals, sort of runners or folk that work within the bank now, are starting to come up as he gestures just beyond you to them, and they're sort of running up with carts. And he says, "So, you wish to open a bank here in the Kondarok Bank branch of Stormreach, is that correct?"
Yes.
"Well, I can certainly help you out with that. Have you ever opened a bank account with us before?"
I'm not from this world, so no.
You're not from this world.
Oh, it's a figure of speech.
No,
He's
it's
from-
not. But he's from this world. And I point out Horn.
I kind of like bump him a little bit. He's a funny fellow.
Ha ha ha.
Well, do any of you at all have any affiliation with any of the dragon-marked houses?
The
About
what?
the Impetsu Arcanum.
The Impetu Arcanum. That's a peculiar name. Sounds familiar. Not affiliated with the dragon-marked houses, I don't think, but does sound familiar. Where do they hail from?
Sharn.
Sean, City of Towers, very well. Now, my question to you, of course, is how long were you planning on using our facility to store your wealth?
Forever. We're building an empire.
Very well.
What he means is we're building a business.
Yeah.
A business empire.
Yeah. Horn's gonna be rich.
We're gonna make a killing.
Yeah, business-wise. Horn smiles awkwardly.
Well, we have a safe deposit vault service that typically only works for an item weighing up to 10 pounds, and it can be withdrawn from any of the Kundrock branch banks across the world. However, for what you're asking for, considering the wealth that you brought into us today, that doesn't seem to be adequate.
Horn says no. No, it's Horn thought there was credit here. We give you points and we have credit. There's no such thing here.
Will you wish to exchange? Help me understand exactly what you want. The standard...
Yes, here's what we want to do. I want to exchange all this currency I have into something that's a little bit more manageable. And then I want to keep a portion of that currency here at this bank. And I'd like to do the same thing with these gemstones, if at all possible.
And he looks to you and says, well, I can certainly help you with all of that. You said you
My
wanted...
man.
You said that you wanted to store some of this wealth here?
Yes.
Well, we can, of course, depending on your preference, we can exchange all of it into as platinum pieces, if that's what you're looking for. We can certainly arrange for that.
Will we be able to easily spend platinum pieces? Or should we go for gold?
Let's go for platinum.
I know. Let's keep 100 of each currency in our party loot and take everything else and convert it to platinum. Roughly.
Well, considering I don't have like a magic currency converter here, we'll say that for now he's going to give you a mark. And between now and the next time we play, I will do all that conversion, because that's going to take a while.
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
And don't forget the gems as well.
Yeah. He's going to give you a good deal. Ordinarily, the exchange rate for gems is 50% of the worth of the gems. But since you brought in a lot, he's going to knock that down to 25%. So
Nice.
he'll give you essentially the worth of all of your gems, like he'll give you 75% of what they're worth.
Okay. Now, what we want to do is we want to keep 100 electrum, 100 silver, 100 copper, keep no gold and no platinum. I want all that deposited into the bank because we're going to get that gold for the dagger tomorrow and use that as our working gold.
Very well. And how much exactly did you want to deposit into the bank?
An imaginary number that has yet to be determined, but it
Very
will
well.
be determined by our next session.
Very well, my friend. We can help you with all this, and I've noticed that you have also some sort of jewelry items amongst the chest. This whole time he's been going around, and with your permission, he's been opening the chests and inspecting them. And he comes across the porcelain mask and the crown, and he sort of pauses for a moment.
No, he doesn't come across that crown. I ain't showing him that.
Oh, okay. So where is the crown?
It's in my. It's within the party loot technically, but I don't want him to see.
Okay, so you don't allow him to open the smallest chest.
I do, but I'm gonna open it and go get that crown out first. I'll stick it in my inventory for now.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check. Because
Okay.
he's been sort of like, he has like a short human male who has been following him around and furiously writing in a ledger. Like documenting what you
could
have.
ask me to do it.
In front of him, he would notice.
Can you not telepathically speak to people?
Oh, you're right. I'm gonna telepathically tell Twinkle to do it.
Very well. Make a sleight of hand check, Twinkle.
Okay.
Can Horn cause a distraction?
Okay. Twinkle, you were able to snatch the crown out of the box. I assume you did this before the man went over to the box, as he was
Yes.
making his way. And then the man comes across the chest that had the coins and then the porcelain dragon mask that was laying in it. And he says, "Oh my, it's unusual art object that you have there. From Argonesson, if I'm not mistaken." And he begins to pick up the mask and sort of turn it over in his hands and look at it. "I assume you'd want to put this in the vaults too?"
Yes, please.
Very well, I can do that. Well, if you trust us to take these chests off of your hands and this wealth, we will begin the process of going through it, counting it for you, and by sometime tomorrow, if that is agreeable to you, we can reconvene here at the bank and we can see what we have.
Very well.
In the meantime, I am issuing a letter of credit to each of you for 5,000 gold apiece. I know that's a paltry sum compared to what you have here. I'm sure you probably have much more. And whatever you spend of your credit, you can pay back in your own time.
I'm not saying that it wasn't easy, because it wasn't.
And he just sort of gives all of you sort of a sly look as he turns to the man with the ledger, and he makes a motion with his fingers. And the man starts to pull out pentagonal sheets of paper with Kundarok Bank marks on them, seals. And he distributes to each of you.
Horn appreciates this. Oh. Shoves in his bag.
Yeah, he does. He collects diamonds.
Does that feel like you guys just had a credit card forced on you?
Yeah.
You guys brought him money and he signed you guys up for a credit card.
We're okay with that.
Okay. So after so you're surrendering all of the chests to him then?
Yes.
Okay. He takes all the chests, all the wealth out of the chests from you, and he then bids you all farewell. This all takes about the amount of time that it takes for the bank to close up business, so it's about 5:30 now. Would you all like to head back to where you were before and take your rest?
Yes.
Horn wants to know if he can sell his credit for gold.
He said his papers were 5,000.
Basically,
can I sell it back to him?
so basically, the way
I
a
know, I'm just-
letter of credit works is you take your letter
I'll
of
buy
credit.
that off for 200 gold.
Take your letter of credit to a store, and you show it to them, and then you can use your letter of credit, to buy something up to 5,000 gold worth of supplies, and essentially, it's basically a credit card.
Yeah, I was just messing.
I understand.
But that would be something Horn like he gives. Oh, this is.
I just assume.
Oh, it is. Will you pay this? Can I sell it to you back? He said it's worth 5,000.
All right. So you're all going back to the inn. Is that correct?
Can we stop at a few shops?
Are they open?
Pretty much most of the shops have closed this time of day.
Okay.
That's why I said we're not leaving till lunchtime tomorrow, so we could actually go shopping before we leave.
That works. Sounds good.
All right.
We can go back and
Go
long
back.
rest it.
I will mark you guys as taking a long rest then.
Yeah, we're getting up early at like
Yeah.
7.
Me and Fatorm are sharing a room. Horn gets the room with Fatorm. He's excited.
All right.
I'm picturing you two like sleeping in bunk beds.
He's got the
Surprisingly-
top bunk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because he lets Fatorm choose. He'll sleep wherever he does.
All right.
Surprisingly, he doesn't snore.
The next morning, you all wake up and you feel refreshed, rested. You've gained all of your hit die, or your hit die that you spent partially, if you didn't spend all of them. Get back your spell slots. And what would you all like to do on this new day?
Well, after I finish reading over my little black book, I get up and I go out into the common area to meet up with everybody.
Okay. What about the rest of you?
Is the tap room open?
It is. They're serving breakfast.
Can I go down there real quick?
Sure.
I would like to order something.
Okay. Once you get down the stairs, you see the familiar sight of most of the individuals that were here the previous morning, and you see Alan, the proprietor of the establishment. And it looks like he's currently cleaning some mugs.
Hi. I want to order something.
Of course, little one. I can help you with that.
Do you have cheese?
Cheese? Of course I have cheese. Is that
I
all
would
you
like-
want?
Yes. I would just like some cheese.
Very well. Is that all you... That's just it? Just the cheese?
And some water.
And water? I can help you with that as well.
Yeah, that's it.
Where would you like me to send this? Send this up to your room, or did you want to just take it and settle in one of the tables?
I want it to go into the common area where my friends are.
Upstairs? Very well. I can send someone up there.
Thank you.
All right. We'll settle up later, okay?
Okay. And then I go back upstairs.
As you begin to head upstairs, the door to the tavern opens, and you see a procession of men wearing plate armor. You can hear the sound of the armor rattling. And the men walk in and begin scanning the area, and they clock you as you're heading upstairs, and they start heading in your direction.
I would like to walk a little faster.
Okay. Twinkle So just sort of speed walks up the staircase, back up to the common room where I'm assuming everyone is assembled currently.
Guys,
Yes.
there's people. The people see me. They're wearing armor. They followed me. They're following me. They're up in here. There's
I'm gonna go to the entrance, look at the people that are coming in, and go ahead and inform them that if they proceed, they will die.
Okay. Horn, are you assembled with them?
Oh, yes, of course. I'm always by Firehorn.
Yeah, he followed me.
Okay.
Yeah. I stare at him awkwardly.
You see a procession of Silver Flame Knights. Paladins of the Silver Flame are now walking up the stairs. And they don't have their weapons out, but they have them, obviously they're armed, heavily armored. And as they see all of you, they look towards you, Horn, and they say, Zul wants a report, Horn. You've had a day.
Horn, we discovered a hideout of bad guys, and we eliminated them. Horn also needs proof, so we got to do more stuff.
Okay.
And Horn stares at him awkwardly.
He just sort of looks at you, and he looks at the rest of you, and he says, Gamzul wants progress. You say that you found a hideout. We can investigate that. Where did you find it?
So, hold on. Which one of you men is in charge?
Just speaking to him.
Might I have a word with you off to the side, away from everybody else?
You can speak freely in front of my paladins, and of course in front of Horn.
Fair enough. Okay, I will speak freely to you then.
Please do.
We eliminated the threat at the bathhouse, but we've learned that a lot of the threat to the city may be originating from within one of the houses of the Stormlords themselves. But without evidence, that is a heavy claim to make, so we need evidence before we can proceed forward. I'll let your commander know that.
It's a serious accusation.
That's why I'm not formally making it yet.
Very well. We'll report back to Zool.
When Horn says one more thing, the person that's trying to, is big bad person, is trying to out the Silver Flame, so we must stop them.
And we will. First, we'll check out the bathhouse you said it was.
Oh yeah, we wrecked that. Cultist everywhere. You're gonna love it.
Oh, I have no doubt. I heard something about dead bodies being carted away from that place the other day. I had no idea that was a result of you, but...
What? Dead bodies? Oh no.
Oh yeah, dozens of dead bodies.
Dozens?
Yes.
My goodness.
maybe even singles.
And the man sort of looks at you, Horn, and says, "Oh, come over here for a moment."
Whatever you have to say to Horn can be said in front of him and his warlocks.
Horn looks at both of them and just kind of doesn't know what to do. Horn steps forward just like slightly. Horn is listening.
And he reaches out, he grabs your elbow and pulls you in close, and he says, "There's someone coming tomorrow. They're coming to speak to all of us, to address all of us. I'm not sure who, all I know is that they're from the mainland. So if you could hurry this business up and get to the bottom of it quickly, it would be much appreciated. All of our asses are on the line. They'll be sent back to Dargoon before you know it."
Horn doesn't want to go back.
You don't want to have to deal with the gross monsters of Droam, do you?
No. Horn does not. Horn will do his best.
It's all that the captain asks of you. Well,
Yes.
I will not keep you. Obviously, there's a time crunch. Tick tock, tick tock. Is there anything else that you need from us before we leave to check the bathhouse?
Got any money?
I'm sure you'll be well compensated when you finish your task.
Very well. We're good.
Horn looks at him. Horn needs some holy water?
And the man just sort of nods to one of the other paladins, and he opens up his satchel and he pulls out 2 vials and hands them to you.
Horn is appreciated. Thank you.
And the paladin just sort of gives you like a bro fist.
Horn, bro fist back.
You're not sure where he learned that from. It's very unusual.
Probably from Samael. As they're walking away, he hears a voice that remarkably sounds a lot like his own that says, "I dropped something."
The man turns around, slapping his satchels and his armor, looking around for a moment. And
I'm gonna ask him, "Did you lose something?"
Not that I'm aware of.
Huh.
Let's go, men. And the procession of paladins of the Silver Flame head down the stairs and out of the tavern.
Horn's ha 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 ha.
Is
What are we
my
laughing at?
here yet?
Oh, yes. While you were talking to the paladin, a very skinny, a half-elven man with sort of short brown hair came up, and he just sort of very gently slid the tray of cheese and water over to you, and then he left quickly.
Can you believe those guys in armor with weapons in the tavern scaring people? Ugh, the nerve.
All right. So what would
I
you
take
all
my
like to...
cheese and water to the corner of the room.
Okay. What are you doing, Scorched? You've been kind of silent.
Scorch is gonna go back down into the tavern. Is that Warforged that was there yesterday? Is he still there?
Yes, he's still standing at attention at the door.
Scorch is gonna walk over to them. This is well met, brother.
Hello, brother. What can I do for you?
I just noticed that you were standing here yesterday and coming back here tomorrow, and I see you're still here. I was wondering what might you be doing here?
He sort of cocks his head a bit, looks at you, and he says, "Well, I work here."
Do they treat you well here?
They pay me well. Alan pays as well. And he sort of gestures to the half-ogre that's sort of seated on the ground, seemingly taking a break with their head down, snoring loudly.
So, what happened after the war?
Not sure I quite understand what you mean, brother.
I'm sorry. Back when the war was happening, there was some great event going on. I was there, but I never found out what happened. What was the cause of that? Do you know?
You have to be a bit more specific.
The morning?
And he sort of opens his mouth for a moment, and no sound comes out. And he looks at you and he says, "Well, I wouldn't know much about that."
And what about the lords? Do you know anything about the storm lords?
What do you want to know?
Just a bit of everything. When I was created, I was never introduced to any storm lords. I didn't even know I served under a storm lord, but apparently I did. Just kind of wonder if you can tell me more about them.
Well, most of the time they're familial, passing down through the generations. The Stormlords have been here for as long as I can remember. Each one of them controls a different part of the city, whether security or commerce. Of course, the one that ran the guards has been missing for a while.
Yes, I was the one with the silver frame, correct? Samael?
I don't know any Samael, but one of the Stormlords left just before the Obsidian City disappeared. It was my understanding was heading to the Obsidian City. It's Lord Amanatu. Lord Amanatu was, unfortunately, from my knowledge, had no children. So with Lord Amanatu missing, there's no one to balance the power, the rest of the Stormlords. And of course there's the business with killings and refugees from the city.
Are you done? I'm not sure if you're continuing or not.
And the Warforged looks at you and just sort of cocks his head to the side and says, "What else do you want to know? I mean, I spend most of my time here."
No, I've never been to Stormreach before, so whatever you can tell me, I would appreciate it.
Well, it's sort of a hodgepodge of different peoples. The Outlier, it's one of the only civilized places here left on the continent. Zendrick is a bit wild.
And
Have you ever been to Three Barrel Cove?
where is that?
Yeah, it's the north area. It's a little just west of Shargon's Teeth. Most civilized folk don't go there, as it's a haven for pirates.
What might be there? Other than pirates.
To be perfectly honest, prostitutes and, you know, the sort of thing that the fleshy people do. That's where folks go. I've never been with a prostitute. And he just sort of straightens himself up and puffs his construct body, his chest out.
No, of course not. If you excuse me, I think the rest of my team will need me. You know, of course,
Okay.
he's gonna go back up to the common area.
My name is Clank, by the way.
Scorched.
Well met, brother. there's anything else that I can help you with, I'll try my best. As I said, I don't really leave this place. Haven't for many years now. Not since the war.
I'm gonna pass by Scorched as he's leaving and say, "Did I hear y'all say something about prostitutes?"
Yeah, we talk about prostitutes.
Nice. Which way?
It's to the north of here.
Cool. I'll have to go by there sometime. Hey, you didn't happen to see Willow down here, did you?
I wasn't looking for Willow. Willow?
I'm gonna look around. Do I see Willow anywhere?
You do not.
He ain't here yet.
No, I don't see Willow
Alright.
either.
Well, I'm headed back upstairs then. What are you doing, buddy?
I was returning back upstairs as well.
All right. I think Horn wanted to go shopping. Maybe we should go with him.
Get him some new horseshoes.
Tell him that. He'll love it.
Oh,
Oh, he heard
He's
it.
like,
There he is.
right
Oh, he's
behind you.
behind me. Yep. Hey, Horn. We're gonna go pick up some prostitutes later. You ready?
Horn has oath.
That's the oath you took? Oh my god.
Horn
Couldn't you
and
pick something
Silver
like
Flame.
slay evil?
That is an oath too.
How many did you take?
Well, the human paladin said I have to take all oaths, and yet they all laughed why I took them all. But I don't know why. I always wondered why.
Yeah, but you're a Minotaur. I don't think it applies to you. We can go later.
He kinda, ha 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 ha. You're right. I never thought of that. I'm no human.
That's right. Well, I guess we're going to round everybody up and go shopping.
Okay, then. Where would you like to go within the city to shop?
Where's the most expensive place where we can all spend our money?
The most expensive place where you can spend your money? I mean, I suppose you could ask around.
Horn, where is the most high-end shops here?
Horn knows the place. And he will lead him to one of the only shops that Horn knows of.
Okay.
This low-tier magic shop with nothing.
Well, a Horn, you would know that the highest concentration of finer shops within Stormreach is within what they call the marketplace, which is like a neighborhood of different types of shops and bazaars.
Okay, he will, take him there.
Which you would also know that you guys are like right on the edge of the marketplace right now. Like Maloo's Distillery is sort of like close to like the divide between the marketplace and what they call Summerfield, which is a neighborhood to the west.
Alright, so what kind of shops do they have here?
Horn, what kind of shops do they have here?
Magic shops. Expensive shops. Oh, Horn's never been, to tell you the truth.
What?
Horn poor.
So Horn
make no money.
So Horn would know that there are really only a couple of big shops. There is the bazaar. The bazaar is sort of like a smattering of different like pop-up carts, people selling food, people selling drink, people selling clothing. There's also your standard fare weapon and armor place called the Black Iron. And you would also know that there is Willow's shop and a place called Von Ruthwick's.
Yeah, what he said.
So between Von Ruthwick's and Willow's shop, those are really the only two like big magic shops per se within the marketplace. The other shops it's mostly just your standard fare for like gathering together like a replacement for like your standard armor, or getting some arrows or bolts for your crossbows, and of course Black Iron would be able to help you with most of your needs for that sort of thing. So the question is what are you looking for?
Yeah, what are you looking for?
I was asking you, Horn. You're the one that wants to go shopping.
I'm looking for some diamond, basically.
Okay, so then that would be two choices. You could try your luck at Von Ruthwick's, or you can go to Willow's shop and see if he has any.
I'll go to Willow's shop and see if he has.
Okay. Willow's shop is not too far away from Malou's distillery. And as you wander out of the tavern, I assume all of you are going together?
Yes, this is a team endeavor.
It's a team effort. Gotcha. I like it. You wander through the marketplace beyond the various carts and pop-up sections. They're all sort of scattered amongst this large, grand area. And nestled beyond a couple of stonework buildings, you can see sort of like a dome-shaped stone structure. It's sort of a sandstone, a warm tan sandstone structure. And you can see that it looks like it's been being renovated. And there's sections of it that have like scaffolding that's attached to the sides. And you can see what looks to be a handful of Warforged, which are currently working away at it. And you would know this, Horn, because you live here, as Willow's shop.
This is Willow's shop. Is it open?
It appears to be so.
When we'll lock it.
There are folk milling about, and as you enter into the shop, you can see folk that are wandering about, shopping, gathering items, checking out at the counter, and you can see the familiar face of Willow Brownbug from behind the counter, and he says, "My friends, welcome! Didn't expect to see you so soon. Welcome to my shop. I see you have found my shop.
Yes. We have found your shop.
What can I do for you?"
We weren't expecting to be here so early either, but we decided to go shopping while we were waiting, so we just swung by.
Well, perhaps we can kill two birds with one stone. I had some information for you.
Oh, what you got?
Well, I made a few inquiries, and one of the inquiries, there's a gentleman who wished to purchase the books from you.
Oh, really?
Yes. He runs a money lending operation down at the docks at a place called the Low Lantern.
Money lending at the docks.
Yep.
Something tells me you're putting a favorable light on this guy's profession.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I think he's an asshole, but you said you wanted to find someone to purchase it from. I'm not.
That is true.
I'm not going to purchase the books from you. So, therefore, I'm going to help my friend find someone to buy them. If you're agreeable, I can set up a meeting.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Do you know where... Obviously, you know where the docks are. The Low Lantern is... It's unusual. It's a tavern that's run out of a ship that is permanently docked at the docks. And
Hey,
the
Horn,
harbor.
you familiar with it?
Is Horn familiar with it?
Yes, you are familiar with it.
Yes, yes. Horn has heard of this. Yes.
In
It
fact,
wouldn't happen to be north of here, would it?
it's south of here, actually.
Oh, okay. Horn's got some business up north he needs to take care of. Anyway, we'll go there first.
Well, very well. Should be open. It's a tavern. They're usually open most of the days. And gentlemen should be there.
Oh, Horn, do you have diamonds?
Diamonds?
Yes, yes.
I might. How many do you need?
4 were 300 gold.
And he says, hold on a second. And he disappears behind the counter. Sort of hops down from... He was standing on a raised platform so that he could be at the same height of most standard humanoids. And he hops down off of the platform now and just sort of disappears behind into a little office area. And he comes back out and he has a little satchel. And he says, there you go.
Ah, thank you, thank you.
He goes, we'll settle up later.
Oh, okay. Thank you, thank you.
Did you need anything else? I see your friends are being awfully quiet.
What you got?
Well, what do you need? I have potions for purchase. If you're interested in potions, I have all sorts of things. If you're looking for perhaps some sort of a magical clothing or some sort of traveling gear that you need to help you in case you're planning on heading out into the wilds and the jungle, I can set you up with some incense to keep you from getting eaten alive by bugs.
You got anything that can make it harder for people to hit me?
And he sort of looks at you and he says, I might. What are you looking for?
Well, let's see. Give me a second.
And in the meantime, I will give you those diamonds, Derek. I mean, Horn. You said you were looking for diamonds worth 300?
Yeah, each.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 of them.
Okay, he gives you 4 diamonds worth 500 gold each.
Okay, that works.
And I will put those in your inventory, Horn. So whenever you can give him that 2,000 gold, that would be lovely.
You believe yourself to be a real pirate, are you?
Good thing you got that credit.
Mm-hmm. He should settle up later, so, I might not see this guy again for a while.
That's true. You guys might be dead. So Fathom, what were you interested in? Because you're looking for something to protect yourself with?
Yes, I am. Currently, I'm wearing some leather armor. If I can get an enhanced version of that, that would be good. Maybe some studded leather armor, but anything that's going to, make it harder for somebody to hit me, I would appreciate.
Okay.
I don't like getting hit.
He says, well, I've got some decent studded leather, if that's what you're looking for. Plus
Yeah, I
one
could use
studded
that.
leather would sound like something you'd be interested in.
Yeah, I could make use of that.
I'll tell you what, we'll settle up. You got 2,500 gold. You've got yourself a set of plus one studded leather armor.
I tell you what, why don't you take it out of the cost of that dagger?
Oh, you're going to give him the dagger?
Nah, he still owes me 1,250 gold on top of that.
Oh, that's true. Well, what he will do then is he will take that off your hands. You can go ahead and add the difference, and I will drop the studded leather armor into your inventory.
All right. And how much does he owe? How much does Horn owe for the diamond?
Horn owes $2,000, 2,000 gold.
Well, I don't have that.
He said settle up later.
Yeah, that's fine. I was thinking about settling up now just in case, but you're right. We can settle up later.
Okay. Yeah, he trusts you guys. He's been working with you guys for a little while now. He trusts you. Don't know why, but he does.
See, Horn needs diamonds to revivify you if you fall.
And what about the rest of the group? Alistair is remaining very quiet. He's just sort of like wandering the outer layers of the store. Does Scorch or Twinkle require anything from the store?
Scorch doesn't need anything from the store.
Okay.
I need healing potions.
Oh, you want to buy some healing potions?
Yes.
Okay. How many would you like to buy?
How much are healing potions?
Well, just a regular old healing potion by itself is worth 50 gold a piece. But he does offer some more expensive ones. Greater healing potion will set you back 300 gold a piece.
Oh. I would like 2 of those.
You want 2 greater healing?
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead, if you have it in your sheet, you can go ahead and mark off 600 gold. And I will put 2 greater healing potions into your inventory. Alright. And Scorch, do you need anything?
No, I don't need anything.
Okay. So are you all leaving the shop now?
Yes, we are.
Okay. And where would you like to head next?
The remainder of that gold went back into the party loot, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. It's up to everybody else.
Remind me how much of that gold, how much gold that was left, if you don't mind.
1,250.
Okay. I'll go ahead and adjust that in party loot. And where would you like to head to next? To sell the books?
Yeah.
Okay. So he told you to go meet a man at, he hands you a slip of paper with the man's name on it, and he tells you that he will be at the Low Lantern waiting for you.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Horn says Low Lantern was store for bad person. You know, we could rob Low Lantern and get them to come out, and we could beat out information.
You want to rob them?
Well, do you have a better idea of getting evidence?
Well, I mean, we could just go in there and, you know, sell the items to the...
You also have the slip of paper with the name of the man you're supposed to meet at the Low Lantern.
Yeah, let's just go meet the guy.
Okay. Is that what you're all doing? You're going to head down to the docks? To the harbor?
Yeah.
Okay. Unless you guys have more things you want to do in the marketplace before you leave.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Takes you a little time, but you're able to make your way down to the docks, and you see, once you get close to the docks, several ships which are currently berthed in the harbor, and there appears to be some sort of a blockade out in the harbor. Ships that have seem to have permanently dropped anchor in places. And there is some sort of a line of buoys out in the harbor, out in the bay. And you can see various dock workers moving about. And Horn, as you get closer to the familiar sight of the Low Lantern, you see the three-masted ship, which is docked onto the southwestern side of the harbor. And as you get closer to it, you can all see the tall mast. You see the rigging that comes into view, but there are no sails. And you can see that it's attached to the wharf by these thick chains, with a wooden staircase that climbs from the wharf's edge onto the top deck. And you hear the sound of crows every so often, off in the distance. And it's fairly quiet. You don't see a whole lot of folk coming and going out of this establishment this time of the day.
It's over there. Yeah, over there.
Now, Fathom, you have the piece of paper that was given to you by Willow that has the name of the person that you're meant to meet.
Yep.
Have you looked at it at all?
Yeah, I glanced at it. It's got a name on it.
Yes, it does. The name is very familiar, actually.
Who is it?
The name, which is written in common on this bit of paper, says Amrik Van Thamper, son of the Stormlord Thalamra Van Thamper. And it invites you to come to the Low Lantern to speak on the sale, the purchase of some books. It says to meet him on the tavern deck of the Low Lantern.
Okay.
And at this time, if you would all like to come to a close for the evening, we can.
All right, that sounds fine to me. Everybody else in agreement?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Everybody sounds tired tonight.
Yeah. Guys are wore out. So the sounds of the water lapping against the edge of the docks, the creaking of the rigging, sounds of crows, two of them actually, sitting on a few of the posts near the Low Lantern. Even at this early in the morning, there's a bit of fog that creeps in off of the water and sort of wraps around and envelops the Low Lantern. And a lantern at the bow of the ship casts sort of an eerie green light that signifies that the tavern is indeed open for business. And that's where we're going to end for tonight.
Cool.
Not much. We're not so sure.
Oh, I could do that recap real quick.
Go for it.
All right, hold on. Rachel, come over here with me real quick. I need to tag team this.
If you guys don't break out into a freestyle rap battle, then I will be very disappointed.
Nah. Correct reenactment of our last session. The fuck's that?
What is that?
Oh my god! Oh shit, Horn died! Oh fuck! The end.
Very accurate.